kids have had some questions.
Okay.
And so luckily I was like, I know the man to ask. He's going to have the information. So I got some questions for you.
Okay, what's your first question?
First question I have is e-learning. Can you give me just some good, valuable e-learning questions, answers that I can give my kids about the e-learning?
Absolutely, Officer Joe. I think the first thing for all students to remember is that the e-learning counts for the fourth 9 weeks. So all those assignments will be graded. So those of you that have maintained excellent grades, it's an opportunity for you to keep your grades up. Also, for our students that perhaps have struggled a little bit this year, it's a fresh new 9 weeks, e-learning opportunity to start your fourth 9 weeks really strong. The second thing is with the modules, make sure you read the module in its entirety. Okay, don't skip around because you might miss some valuable information and some questions that are embedded in there. Another thing is the students need to check their Canvas inboxes for teachers' feedback, replies to their questions. And lastly, I had a couple questions on this myself, is when are the assignments? Now the assignments are on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now we won't have any e-learning over spring break, and then we will repeat that pattern Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays with the exception of April 10th. So it's imperative, students, that you keep up with your e-learning on those days. Don't procrastinate. Don't try to wait till the last moment, or you're going to find yourself in a very difficult situation. So keep up with the work.
So really just Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week, and then they have an entire week where they have no e-learning, and then back to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if it's, I would assume that just like my kids, the e-learning assignments only took them about 2 to 3 hours, which is way less than what normal school hour is. So basically, if they just really put a whole lot of effort into those 2 or 3 hours, they would have the remainder of the day to do whatever it is that they wanted to do, or whatever their parents, asked them to do off of that.
That's correct.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense. And basically, just work hard, put your nose to the books, or to the e-learning, I guess. We don't have books, but we may have some information on that in a bit. But okay, yeah.
Do they have any other questions from your family?
Oh, they had a little question about it. I had a big question because lunch happens to be one of my favorite things. In all actuality, during my school days, when I was in kindergarten through 12th grade, I really excelled at lunch.
Oh, really?
So, what are we doing about lunch?
Okay.
Now that we're out of school, and maybe some kids, maybe mom forgot to go get some bread, and there isn't enough lunch for everybody. What can we do?
Well, the school corporation is providing lunches Monday through Friday.
At the high school.
Yeah, it's from 11 to 12. It's a grab-and-go style lunch. So it's a sack lunch, and it includes, so just so you know, I know you're into lunches, you'll get a sandwich, a veggie, a juice, and then you'll also get something for breakfast the next day. So again, that's
lunch
Monday.
And breakfast?
Yeah, all you need to do is
Just pull into the football field entrance and follow the signs, and they will take you to where you need to go. If I'm on my bike, can I go get lunch?
absolutely.
What if I don't have a bike because maybe I'm in a real healthy mood? I want to jog a little bit. Maybe even just walk because it's a beautiful day.
Absolutely. No one's going to be turned away.
Oh, okay, so maybe I will take my dog Marley and we'll go for a walk and get some lunch. That sounds like a great opportunity. Of course, keeping the social distance,
Correct.
and maybe just a wave, no hugs or anything. Maybe an air hug, some air high fives.
Maybe that'll help.
Oh yeah.
You notice the space between you.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's not quite 6 foot, but we have to fit in the camera. That's okay. We're sterile right now. We took a bath and basically.
Do they have any other questions, Officer Joe?
Well, they did. So my oldest daughter is an avid reader, and she last night was like, "Dad, what if I run out of books?" And she says she doesn't like to read books on her tablet because it gives her a headache.
Okay.
So what can she do, if anything? Is there even anything that can happen if she runs out of books, what can she do?
Well, Officer Joe, the Porter County Public Library system, as you know, is closed. Okay.
Yeah.
However, they do have a curbside pickup, and that is from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening, Monday through Friday. You can place your order online, or they have an app, and then you park in the designated area, and there's a number for you to call, and they'll bring your library materials out to you.
So is that like at our Westchester branch,
Correct.
which,
Yes.
if you're not sure where that's at, that's going to be located between 2nd and 3rd on Indiana Street, which is just off Broadway. So basically, if you know where Red Cup Cafe is, which Red Cup Cafe makes some fantastic breakfast, excellent coffee, for those that you drink coffee. It's near Red Cup Cafe, just 1 block south.
Any other questions over these last couple days that I can answer for you and maybe help our students and families?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes. My kids have had quite a few questions, and I have given them, on the police end of things, they believe what I have to say, and I'm not making anything up to them. What I tell them that as long as we're being safe, we're making good choices, we're practicing social distancing, and most importantly, listening to what our parents have to say, you pretty much are going to be solid. You don't have to worry about anything. But I'd love to hear what you have to say, Mr. Longacre.
Well, I'm a big fan of Mr. Rogers. Now, did you watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood as a kid? Now, be honest.
I did. It was Mr. Rogers, was about the nicest man, and when I talked to you last time about Mr. Rogers, you recommended watching his latest show about him that starred Tom Hanks, who happened to just be released to go into self-quarantine from having the coronavirus, him and his wife, and they came out just fine, even though they had the virus. But it was an excellent movie, so thank you very much for recommending that. We watched it actually as a family on Friday night.
I've always thought so highly of Fred Rogers. There's such a progressive educator for his time and the things that he did. I really look up to him. But I have a few of his quotes memorized. And the one quote that I think applies to today is, it's actually from his mother. And what he said is, when he was a boy and he saw something scary on the news, his mom would tell him, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. And that's something that I've noticed here in the Chester community, our school district, on the news, social media, you can identify those helpers. And that's something, if you recall, students, when we had our school assembly, when I informed you that you would be out of school for 4 weeks, I advised you, and I still encourage you to be one of those helpers. Help around the house. At this time, it's an uncertain time for your families, your parents, your guardians, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, whatever your home situation is. And you need to step up and help your younger siblings. Listen to your parents. Those things that your parents are constantly, maybe perhaps in your words, nagging you about, keeping your room clean or whatever it may be. Do that without being told, okay? Help around the household. And as you said earlier, Officer Joe, I think everyone sort of working together, we're going to get through this.
Yeah, I told my kids yesterday, day before, kind of set up guidelines on what we were going to do e-learning in the days that they didn't have e-learning, and I basically said, you're not going to sit around and be slugs. We're going to look at this as an opportunity. We're going to try to take lemons, make lemonade. This is an opportunity that you guys all have to invest in yourself. And whether it's doing something that you want to try, like learning an instrument, you want to accomplish and read that big, thick book, or read the entire series of the Harry Potters. I mean, that would be pretty impressive, but there's got to be something that you can think of that you may have not had the time to accomplish, that during this time span, look at it as an opportunity to accomplish. I'm sure your parents would be more than happy to assist you with whatever you want to accomplish, but as Mr. Longacre says, highly recommend being a helper.
Correct.
Don't make your mom or your dad tell you to do things. It's going to help everybody out, set the example for your brothers, even if they're older brother, older sister, or younger brother, younger sister. Set the example. You guys are 10, 11, 12, some of you are even 13 years old. It's time to start acting a little bit older and take this as an opportunity to do good.
Well stated, Officer Joe. Thank you for our conversation, and well, thank you, Officer Joe. As always, I enjoy our conversations. And
Likewise.
And if you have any questions for us, we do plan on sending a video once a week during our 4 weeks off. So students, families, if you have any questions for us, certainly send us an email and we can address those questions moving forward. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, well, a little bit about myself. My name is Mr. Doolin, and I live here in Chesterton, and I have a yellow lab and a dachshund. And I love music. Music is one of my favorite things in the world, and I do like to go to concerts, and I've been able to sucker some teachers into going to concerts with me. So I've been to see concerts with Miss Macy, Miss Darnell, Miss Mahoy, and Mr. Scroggins. Mr. Scroggins and I go to several concerts a year. We are both big music fans, and we like to go to concerts, and sometimes we go together. So I love music. So there's that. Awesome. Okay, here's some this or that questions. We're going to give you 3 of them. Can you give us the answer that you think best portrays you? Would you rather have blonde hair or brown hair? Seriously? You're going to ask me a hair question? Sorry, I didn't write these questions. Would you rather watch sports or play sports? Oh, definitely. I prefer to play sports more than watch sports. I will watch sports if given nothing else to do. And I do work for the Cubs, so I do get to watch a lot of the Cubs games. But I prefer to play sports. I still play baseball on a traveling team, and I'm going to keep playing until someone drags me off the field because I love it. I love sports. And finally, would you rather ride in a car or on a motorcycle? That one's pretty easy too. I had a motorcycle when I was a teenager, but I was never a big fan. I prefer a car because the reason I always give that is because I love controlled chaos, and I love roller coasters because they're definitely controlled chaos. I mean, it's crazy on a roller coaster, but it's on a track. You know that you're going to be safe for the most part when it gets through its whole run. Motorcycles to me they're just too much room for error, and so I'm not a big fan of motorcycles. I would much prefer to be in a car. So fascinating stuff there, Mr. Doolin. You really gave us a lot to think about. All right, so there you have it. You learned a little bit about Mr. Doolin today, and hopefully we'll find out some more about another teacher next week. And we hope that you guys are enjoying yourselves on this break. We hope that you're getting your e-learning done. If you're not, get on that. You have to get that done. This does count. We would much prefer to be working with you guys at school. So just know that we are not thrilled with the way things are going. We would love to be seeing you guys. I miss your guys' faces, and hopefully we'll get there back to school soon so that we can celebrate the last part of the year, because you guys make my day, and I'm missing you. So take care. We will see you soon. Get your e-learning done. See you next week.